right? Well, then they found out, well, the women aren't taking the condoms, and so aren't using the condoms. And so what's going on here? Well, gender oppression in their relationships, that it's not just about poverty, but it's about sexism and their partners, and how if they use the condoms, their partners might be mad, might accuse them of having a disease, so there's another level of oppression there that if you ignore, and actually it could just put them in danger physically by their partners by not taking into account the way in which sexism was working too. So there are real repercussions for not understanding intersectionality in our work.
Yeah, I just have one more quick thing I want to add about kind of how daunting it is that rather than, I know this is kind of how I get through my day-to-day work with feminism, is rather than trying to think of, all right, today I'm going to eliminate racism. Like, I think about, I'm trying to fix the world, but I can't fix the whole world, but I can fix this one person who's standing in front of me at my desk. I can help fix their world. And I think about how my world was fixed, but made better because of feminism. And I think, like, when I think about Matthew's work at True North Shelter and all the work at the shelter, like, feminism and the work that's being done there is literally making that person's world better. And it's not perfect because the world isn't perfect yet, but with each action that we take and with each person who we help through these feminist ideals and through this feminist work, we're making that entire world better. Like, I can say that, I no longer have shame on my body or my gender identity or my sexuality. Like, my world was made better because of feminism, and I'm proud to say that I'm a pretty happy person. I think life's pretty good for me. And so a lot of that was because of feminism and getting a safe space, and I think that we can do that for people individually and by giving people those safe spaces. We can't make their worlds perfect, and we can't make the whole world perfect, but we can better one person's entire world based on the work that we do. And that is changing the world. Like, it's kind of a silly idea maybe that one person is the world, but one person has an entire world, and if we make their world better, we are making the world better. Hopeful feminism.
All right. Hi. I'm wondering, so when a lot of people think about what feminism is or what feminists care about, I think of violence against women, securing women's right to control their bodies, what happens to it, and women's equality within the workforce. Like, those are big second wave ideals, and I feel like they've stuck around. So I'm wondering how those three issues play into your feminist identity, if they do at all, and just how you experience those things.
Let's start down here.
Okay, feminism in the chart. So we're talking like the big tenets and stuff like that. So through Feminist Student Union, we do a lot of other, there are so many different aspects of feminism, but our news project concerning the control and the agency that women have over their bodies and the information that they consume.
All right, let's use that. Yeah, there you go. I tried. It's how to like equal opportunity with my mouse.
We are currently trying to investigate crisis pregnancy centers in the area and be able to really get down to the business of what these centers are telling women who come to them. We want to know what places are good places to go to when you seek out information regarding your sexual health and your pregnancy. So that's part of it, and that's like fighting for reproductive rights doesn't just involve standing in front of clinics with yay Roe v. Wade signs. That's not all we do. And so also I think that workplace feminism, I like to educate. And so I like to, like the Ms. Zoo series, when we start, this is how you make a cover page. This is how you, these are the kind of answers you give in interviews, and organizing your time and teaching women like how to balance their checkbooks and stuff like that, that we may not have learned in school, that I think that's really important regarding like wage issues and whatnot.
Are we going to go down the line with every question, do you think?
It's up to you guys. You guys can skip it, or if anyone has strong feelings.
Well, I'll be really fast. I won't talk about how it plays in at my work. I work at the RSVP Center, so you can kind of guess how it plays out in my work on some of the issues. But in my personal life, I try to support the friends around me and the choices that they make. I try to encourage my friends to, seek higher education and, I'm 25 and a lot of my friends are around that age. So, we're making decisions about family or whether we're going to be child-free and all that good stuff. So supporting the people around me, that's what I do in my everyday life to play out those issues.
I would say in the case of, obviously, violence against women, never in any case would it be, whether you're a man or a woman, is it ever okay to assault another person? I think that's just a general societal rule. As far as rights to reproductive health and things like that, I consider myself pro-life. I think you have a right to bodily autonomy starting, in the womb. And that's just where I stand on it. A lot of people probably disagree with me, that's fine. As far as differences in the workplace, I think that if the free market was allowed to work itself out, it would put people at an economic disadvantage to discriminate. For example, well, this isn't necessarily putting people at an economic disadvantage, however, in 2007, when the Wimbledon tennis tournament equalized men and women's pay, was hailed as this great victory for women and great victory for women's equality, but men play best of 5 matches, and women play best of 3. And so by equalizing their pay, technically women are being paid more for the work that they're doing, which I don't think is fair, because I thought feminism is about equality, not about putting men down, or putting them in a lesser position than women are. And so I would say I approach the workplace situation, again, from a free market stance.
I think for me on this issue, it is most, in regards to women in the workplace and equal wage. I have a son who's now almost 20 months old, and so have recently been on the end of, do I take time off for maternity leave? How does that affect my job? What does that mean with FMLA and taking time and working through all of that stuff, which I think is an amazing thing for women to be able to do and men to be able to do as they need to on either side, whether it's with adoption, whether it's with having a child, or with other family members, so important. But it took a lot of research to look into what it meant for me, and how our family could still get done what we needed to do and pay the bills and all of that stuff as well. So that is where firsthand I had some experience with that. In addition to that, I think with that, for me, it's, as a feminist, showing my students that although I have a child now, that doesn't mean I'm a different person. That doesn't mean I have to go home and cook dinner for him and for my husband and to be there for that. It's still showing that I can be active. Like she was saying earlier, it may be in a different way or to not as much of the extent as before, but it's that I still have a job, I'm still working, and I still enjoy my job and my career, and I can still do those things and be a mother as well.
A lot of the work that I do at the shelter is just working with people who have left abusive situations, and so really empowering them and supporting them and letting them know that, you've come from a really tough situation, and it's important to trust your instincts, and you've come a really long way because you're here and you're setting things up for yourself. And so just empowering women and letting them know that they're the ones who are in control of their lives, and not someone else. So you may have been in a situation where you had to be dependent on your abusive partner, but you're not anymore, and so you're free to take control of your life, and just supporting women through that process, and really empowering them and letting them know that they don't have to be dependent on anyone, and there's no reason to have that mindset that you should be.